guess what, everybody? The first World Championships, water ski World Championships on Championship Lake. Of course, we've had so many World Championships here in Polk County, it's hard to count them all. But at the new lake in Auburndale, and the World IWWF, which is the international governing body, federation underneath the International Olympic Committee, sport of water skiing is hosting the World Barefoot Water Ski Championships. The very first barefoot skier, A.G. Hancock, on Lake Howard in Winter Haven. That's where it all started. And now we have the World Championships here to tell us about it. An old friend of mine, champion himself in many times, Mr. John Cornish, our tournament director. John, thanks so much for joining us. You're a busy man.
It's been a busy, well, with the hurricane, it's been a couple of busy days. But thank you very much. It's good to be here.
And I haven't been down to the lake, but apparently no problem, just a little more water in it.
Wow.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe one tent needs repaired.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about first. It starts October 5th in Polk County here with some of the training. And we have 10 countries?
Rough, yes.
Okay, 10 countries that'll be competing for the team title, and then, of course, all the individual titles. 3 events: barefoot slalom, barefoot tricks, and believe it or not, barefoot jumping. Yeah, they go over an 18-high foot jump, and I think, I don't know, John's going to have to correct me on this one. What's the world record in barefoot jumping?
Right around 99 feet, I believe. David Small, who lives here in Polk County.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know
He's
that.
a British skier, but he set the world record. And
yeah, that is cool. 99 feet. I remember when Mike...
Right around there.
Yeah, I remember when Mike Seipel, when I first saw Mike Seipel do it. John, that was probably back in the late 80s. This new style,
Exactly.
Instead of just going over the jump upright like this, they'll go off the jump, so you can see this here. They'll go off the jump, and then their upper body leans forward, their feet are behind them, and then they bring their feet down just at the last minute, so it creates a more aerodynamic posture in the air, and they go further, right?
They go inverted, and
Inverted.
we're going around 46 miles an hour. They look like Superman.
Jack, you have corns, bunions, calluses, whatever. That's the big way to take care of them, buddy.
Burr them right off. So, John, you're not just sort of the spokesman of the sport and a leader in the sport, but I was talking to Kevin Michael, and you just brought out some Red Bull executives who wanted to learn how to barefoot. So, tell us about that.
Well, Kevin was looking for someone to pull them, and I said, well, I can pull them. I have my boats ready for the world. So we met one morning, took them out, and of course, they're gung-ho. He actually used to ski at the SeaWorld, I believe, and so he was out quirking off, having a great time. Kevin took a run, and then his one friend, he put him out there and started him on the boom, right on his feet, but he finally got up on the short line and was able to go. So one couple hours in the morning, and we had all 4 of us skiing out there.
That's
so you
awesome.
see, not just an organizer, but an ambassador to the sport.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, he's an athlete, he's a competitor, big time. So, but you're now in the senior division. This will be the open division. What are the other 2 again?
The juniors, which is like 17 and under.
Okay.
The under 23, which is a mid-range group.
Okay.
And then the open or elite skiers, which could be anybody that, quote, qualifies.
Right.
But there's some high qualifying scores.
Yeah, well, and a lot of those athletes come right out of Polk County here. Some of the best barefooters in the world live right here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, David Small and his wife, Lane Bowers, gosh, I could go right down the line, and then some old-time guys that skied with you and I, and Rob Beeman, Mark Voisard, just guys like that. Mike Body.
Yeah,
Is Mike going to be at the Superstar Alumni, whatever
the
it's
Legends
called?
Night, yes, Mike is supposed to come.
And his wife, Annette.
Yep.
Mike and I, of course, skied together for years at Cypress Gardens. We were straight arrows, Jack.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, what a great guy. He's a great human. John Gillette, another one you
He's
and I
coming.
skied with. Yep. And some really, really wonderful people in the sport of barefoot water skiing.
So we should probably break down the event, right? So folks
There's
know.
your expert. Has been for years.
So we have opening ceremonies Saturday night
At Lake Silver.
at Lake Silver, and then everything basically transfers to Auburndale. There's a little bit at Lake Grew, correct?
We have
Some
some preliminary jumping for the under 23 and the juniors at Lake Grew. That'll only be taking place the first 2, maybe 3 days, depending on time.
All right.
But everything else will be at Championship Lake in Auburndale.
And what would the average fan or somebody watching TV who decides to roll up, what would they see? What would they expect?
Well, as Mark said, we have slalom, weight crossing, the trick skiing, and the jumping. They will just continuously see skiers going back and forth. We'll have some screens there that they can see the actual picture from the boat, and we'll have some food trucks. And on over the weekend, the vendors will really set up then for the finals. And I think City Fest is going to be happening the same on Saturday.
Auburndale City Fest, and they've got some big bands.
Yep.
Food. This is going to be a celebration, bigger than the individual parts. So, what's that term? Something bigger than its collective parts? Come on, Jack.
You've got me.
Parts of the whole or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot what it is.
But it'll be basically 6 days of full barefoot water skiing.
Talk about
out
the
there.
speed.
Well,
That which shocks people.
if you wanted to know how you would barefoot, take your weight, divide it by 10, and add 20. That's a good way of figuring out how fast you go. We start about everybody around 30 to 35 miles an hour. But once you start really skiing and doing what we do, you end up upping your speed. Most of these skiers will all be doing between 40 and 46 and because it's small surface area, and we'll be doing a lot of surface turns. Those guys spin like a top out there, doing line steps, toe turns, all those different things in their trick runs, and that's why they take more speed. Barefooting is all science, so it's the friction and the leverage and the resistance.
Yeah, it's cool.
And the tricks, I assume, include flips, the different things that even the skier, the water skiers on skis, obviously do the same, but they're doing everything that they would do barefoot.
Everything right on their bare feet. There's two 15-second passes. Usually there's what we call the front pass, which is their forward pass, and then a back pass. You get points from how you start, and then whatever you do. We'll have some people jumping off of our 11-foot high tower, and they'll get so many points in how they get up to their bare feet, and then whatever they do in their 15 seconds. And we have 3 judges that will be judging, and majority rules, and we're looking to have some world records set.
Yeah, wow. And it's exciting, like with back barefooting, you can't see where you're going, only where you've been.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I stole that from Mike Markowitz. But, it's an exciting event because I think what shocks people the most, and maybe John will support me, maybe he's heard other stuff, but I think what shocks people the most is the speed. You're going 40 to 46 and up miles an hour, and, they're going, doesn't that hurt your feet? No, you just get used to it. Well, you do. And I always like, and I think you too, John, like the higher speeds because it makes the water harder. And so, do you want it softer? And you remember Paul Merrill?
Yes.
3-event champion, long distance jumper, and all this type of stuff. I used my roommate. Paul was the slowest back barefooter I ever saw in the show. And he'd go and he's a big man. He was probably 215, 220. He'd go 32 miles an hour. And especially in rough water, Paul, you're nuts. He goes, I like it that way. Passed away as a late Paul Merrill, but great guy, but different guys. But the speed is really what is the shocker.
It's what holds you up there, and it's really fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And there's got to be a unique allure to the barefoot. I think back to someone like Betsy, who gives up a career at CNN to then turn and become a professional barefooter. So what makes it so unique? What's that magic?
I might liken it to being a motorcycle rider.
Okay.
Except you add the fact that your feet are in contact with that water. You feel it. It's not like being on skis. You actually feel it. The temperature, the changes in ripples or whatever. At the same time, you've got the air and the smells and all the things that come through it. So it really, you're very cliche, but one with nature.
Yeah.
You're right there touching the water and you're feeling the air, and you may never, technically you could never fall if you can just spin around and come right back up. So you never end.
Yeah, and it's not without its risks too, you know. And I know, John, your decades of barefooting and advocating for the sport of barefoot water skiing, you know, a class act advocate, but sometimes you'll hit stuff. You know, I remember in the show circle at the Gardens, you know, hitting a catfish on the bottom of my foot, and had to pick out the, you know, that's not fun.
Yeah.
No. I remember John Paff hitting a log. It was about that big around on the other side of Lake Eloise. And I'm sure you've got more than your share of stories.
Every sport has its downfalls.
Yeah. But
things floating is not one of our
Yeah.
good points.
yeah, if you're going to throw your junk in the lake, to make sure it sinks to the bottom.
Yeah.
Because there's people barefooting. But this is where it all started, Jack. A.J. Hancock back in, I want to say that was
47.
47, you're right. 1947 on Lake Howard in Winter Haven. So, hey, come out and see the best of the best. October 5th through the 12th.
Competition starts the 6th.
Yes.
Opening ceremonies the evening of the 5th.
Okay, there you go, everybody. The International Barefoot Water Ski Championship, World Barefoot Water Ski Championships here in Polk County at Championship Lake at Lake Myrtle. Wow, I'm excited. John, thanks a million for all that you do. You've been, my staff just raves about how classy a guy you are and know your stuff, so we appreciate it.
Thank you. I can tell you the first thing I learned was working with Polk County, Visit Central Florida, the city of Auburndale, the Southern Barefoot Club, and the World Barefoot Center. Thank God I had them.
It's a good team, John. It's a great team.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.